Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We're cracking back on with the Porsche. I'm going to start on that near side front quarter panel. Okay, that's those two areas repaired. I've just got to put the tube in. Now onto this little tricky area. Okay, that's the flitch panel all repaired up nicely. Really pleased with how this has turned out. It's quite tricky around the fuel filler area, but yeah, pretty happy with how that's gone. And then down the bottom we've added this jacking point just like the other side. Right then, onto the seal. Okay, so I'm going to push this area up by jacking here. We've managed to pull it back down. There's a jacking point right here. Okay, so that's the end of the inner seal cut off and the torsion tube area. Next we're going to fabricate a little repair panel to go in here and then move back to this torsion tube area. It's much more solid than the other side, so we've got less repair work to do, but we've got the same problem with the tube here. The inner lip's gone, so there's nowhere for the suspension bush to sit, so we're going to cut this tube off and then put a repair piece in here, and then the outer panel can go back on. We're going to replace this anti-roll bar bracket when the vehicle's on the rollover jig to make life easier. So a bit of an explanation on this repair. This is the bit of tube that replaces this here, and then you can see the lip there. Not quite how they did it at factory, but actually probably a better repair option. So we need to cut this much off of the old tube. So that will take us back to about there. Then we'll slide this section inside here. We'll bolt our positioning bracket up, and then we will weld all the way around here. So not only have you got this weld supporting this tube, you've also got this length of tube here that will sit within the old tube, so it can't move at all. And yeah, that's pretty solid, as you can see, so that will never rust out. The car will be long gone before that rusts out. So we're going to replace the jacking point as well. I didn't initially realise how bad it was, but as you can see it's pretty thin here. And yeah, it's just pretty gnarly, so we thought it best to replace that. Inside you can really see the daylight where it's really thin. So yeah, let's fit this new one. Okay, so I didn't show this on the other side when I completed it, but this is the torsion tube area. We've got these bosses, they're all broken away and corroded through, and you get the new panel. Now the bosses aren't fitted to that, they come in a little bag like this, but also if I turn it over, there's no reinforcement panel here, and that reinforcement panel's here. So we need to remove this from the old piece. You see it's all spot welded all around. Then we'll take that off. We're going to remove these bosses. Then we're going to fit these new bosses into this, and then fit this into this. It's all quite time consuming, but it's the only way to do it properly. Okay, let's get on to this accident damage at the back. It's had a pretty poor repair here, but we're going to replace this quarter panel, so that's easy enough. The real problem is that the rear engine mounts don't line up. So this bracket needs to be pushed up just to get these holes to line up, so I can push the pin into this bracket. So it looks about 10mm low at the moment. And then moving on to the other side, it's pretty much exactly the same. This hole doesn't line up. So we know we need to push the back end up by about 10mm. So here I'm going to use quarter power, and you can see the whole back end of the car move up and then relax back down. So yeah, now I can get that engine mount in onto the other side. And yeah, job done. Time to tread the door gaps. Okay, that's the quarter panel removed. Before we cut it off, we made sure that the door to the quarter panel gap was good. And I fitted the boot lid as well. This is the corner that had the accidents. There's some damage here, but it does gap up quite well. And obviously we pushed the rear end up and across slightly to get those rear engine mounts to line up. Which now I'm really happy with the gaps. The bad news is we found a little bit more rust along here, so we're going to have to repair this and repair this area before we can even think about putting the quarter panel on. We've got the B pillar to repair, some grot in here, and then the bottom of the targa hoop as well. So a bit of work to go before we can fit the quarter panel. But yeah, all in all, pretty happy with that. One other thing, one of our viewers pointed out that this bracket and the bracket the other side wasn't set to 0 in our first video. I hadn't actually bolted this bracket down, and as you can see now, it is 0. Both sides. So we now know that the shell is true and straight, and yeah, all we need to do now is fit the rest of the structural panels and get it all strengthened up. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully in the next video we'll be finishing off the metalwork, getting the car off the chassis jig and next door ready for paint.